Before my diagnosis, things were a lot different. Growing up in Brazil isn't like the same as growing up here in America.
Life was pretty good, but I got divorced from his dad when he was like 3. So we've been living together for, 14 years.
My time with Mikey is difficult because I spend probably 75% of my time or more away from home traveling because I work on ships. And so that's very difficult being away from home all the time, so.
I started having these like horrible like headaches. I'd just be like laying down and I just like, my head would be like pulsating with like pain.
We're supposed to move back to US after we're living there for like 10 years. And then we're supposed to come back for his high school. What people were like telling me was like, maybe he's too emotional. You guys moving there, it's a new phase, that's normal.
My vision started to look a little weird. Like if I looked at things that were like far away, I'd start to see double almost. Like it was kind of a weird thing.
His mom would tell me that he was having trouble keeping food down. He was throwing up a lot and he was losing a lot of weight. And we had no idea what it was.
My friends would like say like I like walk like I'm drunk all the time or whatever.
Well, after somebody suggested that he get a MRI or a CAT scan, he actually did go for a CAT scan.
I had no idea. I had Mikey on this very, very poor like emergency room. And so she got me in another room and she showed me the images and all the black spots. She said, this is all water. So something's very bad here. And she could see the tumor there. It was like 8 centimeters big and it was blocking everything already. I was at home when my sister called. It was 2 a.m., but I had put my phone off to sleep, so I did not hear. She called me all night. So I woke up 6 in the morning. I saw all those messages like, wow, what's going on? And I kept calling, nobody answered me, so I could talk to my youngest brother, and then he gave me the news.
No one was using the word cancer at first because we were just like, oh, it's like this like tumor. It's called a germinoma is the kind of tumor I had.
On the day that I found out, actually, he only had like 24 hours of life. She said he cannot leave the hospital. He's not gonna make it.
My uncle, he basically took like 2 days off work just trying to get to this doctor in Rio who's like, he's kind of a big deal. He's like been on TV and stuff.
And then 5 o'clock in the morning, I called the doctor in Rio. He said, bring him, he's gonna make it. So that was like my decision, like, because I'm the mom, I'm the one taking all the decisions here. It's my kid's life. If he dies, it's all my fault. But that time, like, I gotta do something, and I'm trusting this doctor. So I told the doctor, I'm gonna take him out of here, bring him to Rio. She said, no, you can't. I said, I will. She made me sign a paper saying, so it's your responsibility. If your son dies, it's not my fault or the hospital's fault. Like, the doctor's telling you he's not gonna make it. That's the worst feeling ever. And all the traffic, we're trying to cut cars, people open up. It was a nightmare. That was hell. And then finally, we got in the hospital. And people came running, took him out, and the door closed on my face. And that was it. So I didn't know what happened. I didn't know if he could make in, if he was alive, if he was dead.
I flew down to Rio when they'd already found a doctor in a hospital in Rio to treat him.
And then shortly after we got there, I was put into surgery. And
so the whole time I was like, everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. And I was sure. My sister came to me and said, hey, we're gonna have to take him back to the US because we want him to get treated there. Would you come with me? I was like, but of course. So then from that day, I had like a week to be ready to move to the US.
We had a lot of options, but one of the closest options was Washington, D.C. So after 2 weeks, when he was well enough, we flew straight to Washington and went straight to the hospital pretty much, and got him admitted.
He had to do chemo, all the treatment, and we ended up moving here for that. In one point, he was only bones and skin. He wasn't walking. He was in a wheelchair for like a long time. And then seeing him losing his hair and all that.
So he asked me a question. That was the hardest question to answer and to hear, because he was like, let's suppose that someone is sick with cancer. Do you think that person can die? It was kind of like this, the question. It was not exactly that, but he was trying like not to ask me direct, like, am I gonna die? So it's like, no, this person is not gonna die. This person gonna be okay then.
We were in a taxi going to a hospital, and he asked me the question that I didn't want him to ask me, which was, out of nowhere, he just looked at me and said, "Mom, why me?" I felt so bad. And then right away I answered him. I said, well, maybe because you can deal with that and you're strong. So you maybe the chosen one to give example to the other kids. That's why it's you, you know? And a lot of kids gonna get inspired by your experience.
Basically, after the last appointment, like I rang the bell or whatever, it was kind of a magical moment. I left like the radiotherapy section of the hospital, like feeling like a rock star, and I was like, sort of like dancing like down the hallways or whatever. Like I got in the car, and like the Uber driver was like, "You guys look happy." And I was like, "I just got like, I'm cancer free or whatever." And he was like, "Nice, man," or whatever. He was really happy.
One thing that I learned is that when you have the family and friends, that means everything, you know.
I basically got my independence back, like slowly, and yeah, that felt like really good.
Se você acredita, se você tem fé, pensa positivo, lute pelo aquilo que você quer e você vai conseguir.
Don't think about how long it's gonna take for you to like get past this. Just like think about like how good it's gonna be when you are past it.